Hello, heroes and villains. Welcome to Multiverse. Here we are with our friend Nix, the Black Mask. Hello, good sir. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good, Multi. This is the essentially this is our last seasonal, right? Because we've done all the other seasonals with all the base items leading up to the current year. So this is
Yeah,
it, spring seasonal.
yeah, we're pretty much all caught up. But yeah, this is pretty much our last seasonal where we will show all the seasonal base items. So this video, we will show all the spring seasonal base items in this universe online. And we have to give a big thanks to our friend Nix, the Black Mask. Like 99% of the base items you will see, our friend Nix was kind enough to farm and farm to be able to get those so that we could make this video today. Sadly, it took a while to be able to get all those base items. So the sad part is that tomorrow is going to be the last day where you will be able to get those base items. You will still be able to get them afterwards from the broker, but if you want to get them from the vendor, tomorrow will be your last day to be able to do so. We'll go see the vendor a bit later. So here we have the 2021 base items from this year, which was the hive theme. We've already shown those base items a bit, but in case you guys did not watch the previous videos, here we are. Anything you want to say about the new base items this year, Mr. Nix?
Yeah, so it was a hive, obviously, layout here. There are multiple different hive-like bee-oriented base items. So wanted to build like a hive base. This was definitely the seasonal to do it. Yeah, these dividers and wall pieces, they initially, for us, they were initially attached to the wall when we first showed this off, but now they've made them as just large borders for the base, so they're on the ground. So it's not as nice, but I mean, I still really like the seasonal, especially.
Yeah, it's a bit strange how they made them standing walls as opposed to something you could actually put on the wall. I could already imagine Mr. Nix putting a whole bunch of them all over the walls in his lair. I guess that is not going to be an option, at least not yet. But we can do that for the ceiling. We can do that for the floor, but for the walls, sadly, they're simply dividers as opposed to walls we can actually put on the walls. So here we have the base items from pretty much from 2011 to 2014. When you look at the vendor, you'll see a tab that is labeled as such. So these are some of the base items you could get. So you can see the gnarl bed, the gnarl bench. This is supposed to be an armoire. You have a table here. We have some grass here. Here we have a small patch of grass that we can put on the floor, but there are a few other patches of grasses that are much bigger. So you are going to be able to get either some bigger patches of grasses to be able to decorate the floor of your lair, or you'll be able to mix and match the bigger and the smaller ones as you wish. The same with the walls. Here we have a wall here, but we'll show a few more in just a minute. There's a few tables here. There's those plants on the ceiling. So there's those hanging plants here. And there's those huge hanging vines. There's one that is a bigger one and a smaller one that you can see on the ceiling here. Any comment you'd like to make, Mr. Nix, about those?
Yeah, so I mean, this was the starting out for the spring seasonal where they were attempting to try to get some sort of a theme with it, and they kind of went with a blue flower vine slash wooden like base items. So I mean, it was a nice little start to this seasonal. You guys will see the base items just they'll knock your socks off. They get so much better. But this is a great start, especially with this grass patch. It led to a lot of people creating grass layouts in their entire base. I know people that have already done that, and it's not surprising that they would evolve on this and they would create some large patches. But yeah, so you would mix and match between the two to try to fit in the corners with the small ones, and eventually you'd fill your whole base. It was great.
So here we can move on to 2015. There wasn't that many base items for 2015, but still it was some sort of flowery base items. Here we have a different separation that allows us to create another type of wall for our lair if we want to. So either you could get a whole bunch of one wall, or you can mix and match the various walls together to be able to create divisions within your lair. You decide. There's those trellis either on the wall that you can put, and there's one also that you can put on the ceiling up there. Let's try to show it a bit better.
Yeah, these dividers are fantastic. Absolutely. If you're trying to get some sort of a theme, like actually we had in our old league back when I was in Hive, we made a maze, and I think we filled it with these dividers, dividing out the various locations as to where you would go and where you'd walk in this maze in the League Hall. So, I mean, it was fantastic. And this year, it's not bad. It's a little basic, but it's nice.
So here we can move on to 2016. 2016 we had was a smaller year. We had a few trees with a few decorations on the walls, and we had quite a few branches that we could put on the walls. So these are all wall-based items on for the branches, but you can see they give the illusion that they're going through the ceiling. And there's also those patches of green thingy on the ceiling. I forget what the name were. So there's quite a lot of green we can add to our lair.
Yeah,
and
definitely they picked it up. The trees. The trees was a big one because finally we got ourselves a chance to get some nice-looking tree-based items. And this year's spring seasonal finally gave it to us, like this oak tree here. Very simple, very straightforward, but it's nice. You can see how the leaves move back and forth.
So you could literally create a whole forest in your lair, or even in your league hall, using a whole bunch of those trees. Although by now there's a whole bunch of different trees, so you could decide either you purchase a whole bunch of the same tree 1,000 times and create a forest out of that, or you put a whole bunch of different trees together. So here we have the 2017 base items. So you can see some sort of roots. There's some roots you can put on the floor. There's some on the ceiling as well. And I could have sworn there's one on the wall here. And there's a whole bunch of vines that you can put on the walls here. And there's a whole bunch of flower patches that you can put in your lair. There's different colors of flowers. So you could either, again, mix and match a whole bunch of colors differently to have different colors in your lair. Or you could decide to go crazy and purchase just one color and create a whole a monochrome color pattern in your lair if you want to. There's a whole bunch of mushrooms like here. You have different clusters of mushrooms, and you have some smaller mushrooms here and some bigger ones here. And we have a little lab here that you can put in your lair also if you want.
Yeah, this is where they really started to pick up on the varieties that you can have on the ground and not just be limited to just the grass patches. So this is the beginning year of that with all these various flower patches and stuff on the walls here. Yeah, this was definitely a step in the right direction. Nice little mushroom patches here too. I like these.
There's a little tree here that you can have that's sort of I forget the name.
Might be a willow tree perhaps?
Oh yeah, the willow tree, that's it. So you have the willow tree here. I'm not sure why you gave me two, but I took them. And next we have the base items for 2018. 2018 was a pretty big one. There's a whole bunch of nice trees, of pink-like trees. Cherry blossoms, I think they were called. And here we have a huge Venus flytrap. I think it might interact with some of our pets, but not sure so far. And there's a whole bunch of those cherry blossom trees, so not only can you have a whole bunch of them, you can create a whole forest of them, but again, you can create a whole forest of them with all the different ones. Obviously, you could purchase the one and multiply it as many times as you like, or you could have a whole bunch of different ones. You decide. And you can see also there's some nice petals that come down from the trees, or even the branches. And here you can see one of the bigger grass patch that you can have. So that would be a good thing. Instead of having a whole bunch of smaller patches, you could have a few bigger ones instead. And of course you could mix and match the smaller ones with the bigger ones. Here we have a flamingo. I have no idea if it moves a bit. Probably should have put it in water and see what happens. Maybe next time. So you can see there's a whole bunch of cherry blossoms you can put on the ceiling. There's actually three different patches you can put on the ceiling.
Yeah, this was the year where they started to pick up on all these trees and make them so interactive. It looks like the leaves are literally falling down, and there's such variety to them too. So the sky's the limit on how much if you want to extend on your creativity with these various base items. So this was an amazing year.
And here you can see one more patch with various color flowers. And over here, this is the year where they started giving us those animals sculpted within a bush. And here we have a smaller bush that's simply just a bush. But we have here the little bunny, or a rabbit I suppose, and a big bat. There's this Venus flytrap, I forget where it comes from.
I think this is just a random base item.
Okay.
I don't think this actually has anything to do with the seasonal, but I mean it works within this layout. Honestly, if you're gonna create a spring-like base, you might want some of these. There's other vines also that you could find in other instances, but this is one of them. Nice.
Yeah, there are plants and vines that we get from other DLCs. So 2019 was a huge year. It had like over 40 base items. So it took a lot of currency to be able to purchase all those items. Again, you can see there's a bigger patch of grass if you want to. And I think those have fireflies into them. And there's a smaller patch of grass with fireflies. So again, these are other options if you want to have grass all over the floor of your lair if you want to. And we have some more of those pet animals. Mr. Nix is tired. So you can see we have a big dinosaur, we have a T-Rex, and we have a little squirrel over here. And probably my favorite of the base items for that year are the Swamp Thing covers. There's a bigger version and a smaller version of the covers. Let's take a look at the bigger version. So it goes from covers number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 are a bit further in the lair. But you can see these are magnificent covers by the legendary Bernie Wrightson. Bernie Wrightson was the artist on Swamp Thing in the 70s, and holy crap, he did a great job on that series. And I think Len Wein was the writer of that series, and it's pretty much a classic. If you never read those Swamp Thing issues, you have to read them. Any comments, Mr. Nix?
Yeah, I did not realize how big these really were. Is there smaller versions of these or just the large ones?
The smaller. We'll take a look at those right now.
Okay.
So here we have the smaller versions of the very same covers. So you can decide if you don't have a big lair or if you don't have enough big walls in your lair to be able to put those big covers, you can at least have the smaller covers, and they're pretty awesome covers.
Oh my gosh.
And here you can see the remaining 2 covers. I could not fit them into my bigger room, so here they are. So here you can, it's a pretty awesome Swamp Thing cover. Actually, they both are pretty awesome. So if you are a fan of the Swamp Thing, you want to have those covers. And here we have a whole bunch of mossy skulls. We'll take a look at some more a bit later. There's also a little Venus flytrap again in this little thingy. I have to admit, I completely forget where I got this one.
I'm not too sure. That's weird.
But the mossy skulls come from the spring seasonal vendor. And there's a few more over here. So there's a few other mossy skulls. And there's those, I forget, terrarium on the walls, and there's a versions that you can put. There has actually quite a few versions that you can put on the walls, so you can see it's different base items. And there's the similar versions that you can hang from the ceilings, if you prefer.
Oh, if you really zoom in on some of these, they look really nice and detailed. I didn't realize that. Cool.
So as Nick mentioned, yeah, these are pretty detailed. And the skulls are pretty cool looking. So you can see it's basically it's the same skull, but in 4 different format, like the skull by itself, the skull with like a patch of grass, the skull with flowers, or the skull with a rock. And the same with the other skull, which seems to be like a goat skull.
This one's fantastic.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure the one downstairs, I'm not sure what kind of skull that is supposed to be. Is it a trigon, or like it seems to have 4 eyes?
It might just be labeled as just skull or something like that. I'm not too sure. I don't think it has much definition to it for trying to figure that out.
So no choice, Mr. Nix. You have to get those big posters.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's not even just that. It's like, where would I put them?
You have to get a new layer. We can have up to 8 layers now.
Yes, with 600 items.
Of course.
And in my opinion, the best year of them all.
Yeah, 2019 had a lot of base items. 2020 had not as many base items, but those we had are really good looking. Like the one in the ceiling with the moon. I love it. I'm having a hard time trying to show it properly. I'll try to show it on the higher ceiling in just a minute. And the window with the moon. Holy crap, I love this one.
There's so much detail. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
look at it right to left. See, it's almost like you can see something different every time you look into it.
So we have a nice pond here. Nice waterfall. Here we have pretty much a brick wall with some leaves or some vines are growing on it. We have some pretty big mushrooms. Those mushrooms are pretty cool. And there's also some mushrooms on the walls. And another one that I find really good looking is the door over here. That's a really nice looking door. I'm gonna have to try to come up with some sort of theme with those. Mr. Nix is taking a shower. I'm sure you needed it.
Suppose.
So here we moved the moon skylight so that we could have a better look at it. So it's a pretty cool looking item, and you can see it creates a nice ray of light that illuminates your lair. So you can already see a few crazy people putting half a dozen of them on the ceiling or something.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That's what I would do.
And now we're back where we started with the 2021 base items. So sadly, tomorrow is the last day you will have to be able to purchase those base items from the vendor. While we're at it, let's go to the vendor. So on the hero side, we have our friend Alboris Louis, who's the vendor. On the villain side, it's called the Misgiving Tree. So let's take a quick look.
Perhaps I have something to brighten your day.
So one of the great things they've added to the vendors is the ability to be able to look at each year as opposed to all the items. So obviously we do have a tab where we have all the spring seasonal base items, but we could split them by year if we want to. So we can look at the 2021 base items, which are the ones the honey themed base items. The 2020 ones are the one with the moonlit river window or the skylight. Some of those base items, like most of them, seems to cost 6 seed pods, but you can see like the window and the skylight. For some reason, those are a tiny bit more expensive. Then we take a look at 2019. 2019 was a big one. So again, you had diverse animals made of grass, but you had all the Swamp Thing covers, which cost 6 seed pods each. And whether you purchase the big one or the small one, it's the same price. So you can see 2019, there's a lot of base items if you want to purchase all the 2019 base items. So with 2018, we have the fly trap, the flamingo, and we have some patches of grass, some of the grass animals like the rabbit or the bat, the topiary animals. That was a mouthful.
Yes, it was.
And then here we have the round bush, and all the cherry blossom trees are from 2018. Then for 2017, we got a whole bunch of vines, the botany lab, a bunch of the flower patches of different colors, the mushrooms, and here we have the willow tree trunk. For 2016, so we had the full oak, the broken oak, and a few other oak. For For 2015, we had a bunch of the team. It seems was vernal thingies like a vernal planter, vernal vernal potted plants, and then we have all the base items from 2011 to 2014 all mushed together. So the blooming oaken tree table, the blooming vine, the blooming hanging garden. So these are pretty much all the base items we had early on in this Universal line. It mentions from 2011 to 2014, but the base items themselves only seems to have started in 2013. I prefer that we could purchase a whole bunch of stuff or some styles for our characters. Like at the time, the leaf mail tunic and legging seemed to be the style we could purchase. Any comments about the vendor, Mr. Nix?
Yeah. Yes, pretty straightforward. A lot of these base items tend to only be 6 currency, with a select few being 10, and your bigger items being 25 or 13, I think is what those two particular ones. Yeah, the flamingo was 13. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty common to be able to see the various prices all at 6. It wasn't never really a difficult process to get the currency. You were rewarded with 16 currency just by doing 9. You get 9 for the outside daily mission, and you get 7 from the queue-in. So once you got to that instance and you completed everything else, that was the currency amount that you got per daily, which, I mean, that's a few base items right there. So you're off to a good start.
So sadly, tomorrow will be the last day to be able to purchase those items from the seasonal vendor. Afterwards, you will still be able to purchase those items, but you will have to purchase those items from the broker. Our friend Mr. Nix already made a video about the spring seasonal items and how to make money with those base items from the broker. So I would strongly suggest that you go to Mr. Nix's channel, which is Nix the Black Mask, and take a look at that video. Actually, you should take a look at all his videos.
Yeah, this one in particular, I go through pretty much all the years, and I decide as to what do I think is valuable, as to what the spring seasonal really represents. One of the big ticket items is, honestly, this year's styles. They're all tradable, which was actually very new for the spring seasonal. They don't normally have them to be tradable. So the hive chroma that you're seeing Multiverse wearing here, and I don't think the aura necessarily, but the his chroma here in particular, that actually can be put on the broker. And there's 2 different ways to be able to look at how you want to put that on the broker. You can either put the box itself and go for the safe amount, or maybe you want to take a little bit riskier and go for the opening the box and selling the 3 chroma pieces individually. You might make more money that way. But I discuss a whole bunch of other various things that I think are valuable in that seasonal. So, yeah, and we looked at some of them today. So, hope you guys enjoy.
And once the seasonal is over, the price for those items should start to go up a bit and a bit. And in roughly 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, the price should keep on going up until we get the seasonal again next year. So one way to be able to make a bit of cash, which is a question that often comes back in this Universe Online, you could purchase a whole bunch of the valuable spring seasonal base items, keep them in your inventory for a while, and then in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, then you could sell those on a broker and make a bit of cash. You decide. Any last comments, Mr. Nix?
So, going off of that comment of making sure that you hold on to those base items, personally, and I think it's what Multi also said, is I wait for 3 seasonals to pass before I even think about selling them. So currently, right now, I'm looking at the seasonals here. I am starting to sell my anniversary stuff now, because that's 3 seasonals, I believe, in the past. So that gives me plenty of time for all those other individuals who are selling them, going for those smaller prices, and now the prices are picked up, and they're going for pretty high value right now.
So in 6 months, you should still be able to purchase at least most of those items from the broker, or the most valuable items from the broker. Sadly, there are some base items that are not very valuable, so you may not find them on the broker in 6 months. But the most valuable ones, you should be able to still get them from the broker. But sadly, after 6 months, you may have to spend at least a bit of cash to be able to get those items, because their price will go up and up once the seasonal is behind us.
with all of these videos that we've established for you guys here by buying all these base items, I almost think that you might have a playlist to be able to work with, to be able to allow the viewers to be able to see all the various seasonals and their base items all together. Might be really nice for your viewers.
Yeah,
but I enjoy doing this.
Yeah, I already have a playlist with all the layers that people can have. But yeah, I'll put together a list for all the seasonal base items. That way, if you're looking for specific seasonal base items, you will be able to see what it looks like in your lair. So if you end up having to buy it, let's say from the broker for $20 million, you will know what you're buying. Like for example, let's say in the 6 months, you want to have the honey tree. You're going to be able to take a look at this video and see what the honey tree actually looks like before you spend a whole bunch of cash to buy it from the broker. Oh no, it's Mr. Nix who broke the tree. You're so mean.
Wrong click. Hey guys, one last thing that we wanted to mention is the fact that the spring sale that's currently going on right now, which I believe multi is what, 30% discount on some things like respec tokens and replay badges and sales and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
So like, I believe tomorrow is the last day, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yes. And also, it's especially important, like replay badges. It's pretty rare that they do put replay badges on sale. So you should enjoy it now while you can, because replay badges being on sale, it's not something we see very often. So if you need replay badges, the time to purchase some would be now.
Yeah, for many individuals who I know who prepare for DLCs in advance, like myself, I take apart these sales like crazy to try to buy up as much as I can, because I know like the next sale probably won't be till Black Friday, right? So it's a long ways away, so stock up while you can. Do it right now.
So if we take a quick look at the marketplace, so you can see the artifact XP packs are on sale, the seal of completion, the seals of preservation, the replay badges, and the various respect token, like the power type, the weapon type, the personality type, the body type, and the movement type. So if you've been meaning to respect your character, the time is now. And again, if you need replay badges, now would be the time to purchase some, because it's not something that is it's an item that is a very good seller, so it's not something they put on sale very often. So if you need to buy some, the time would be now. The same for seal of completion.
For myself in particular, I bought like 6 seals of completion. Like that price right there it's for $315 on my side. I'm not sure if it's the same for you.
Yes.
It's $450 normally, so that's already incredibly a great sale on top of that. So I stocked up on those. I changed my hero from gadgets to munitions. I changed his movement mode. I'm buying some artifact packs, and I bought a lot of replays. Yeah, I came prepared for this sale. I've been wanting this sale for a long time. I'm very happy to see this, so this is fantastic.
So obviously we might get a summer sale sometime this summer, but the spring sale is here right now. So tomorrow will be your last day to be able to enjoy the spring sale. So do it before it's too late. So that's going to be pretty much it for now, guys. So I'll give you Mr. Nix the last word.
Don't be a hero.
Bye bye, guys.
Take care.
If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. I have roughly 2,000 videos about this universe online at this point, so if I don't answer your question right away, just search in my videos. Odds are I already made a video that answers your question. Or click one of the videos that you see on your screen right now.